If you prioritize your energy to the best of your ability, you will experience a state of flow where every action you take is fundamentally effective. The reason you don't have just yet what you want, or you have still goals to pursue and they've been stuck with you for a very long time, is because the amount of energy you have, you're putting it into the wrong target, and this is done unconsciously. Today I'm gonna show you how to gamify your life, to bring the best results into conscious awareness, and to know how to manage this force which you will always have. So the first thing we have is the energy, life energy. This is your life energy. We all have it, right? This is your intention, and these are your goals. Okay, so you have your intention and your goals. You have life energy. This is what you want, but check this out. This is what you do. You play literally video games. You watch Netflix. What else is on the list? Your socials, okay, and so on. The list continues. But you have all this bubble of energy you've created around your life, and where you pour your life energy into. Okay, so let's pretend this is like a more like a waterfall, right? Let me make that with blue. Okay, let me make some nice effects in here with my finger, and you create waves within the tank. Okay, so you take all your life energy and you pour it into this bubble. This is your current situation. This is where you want to be, right? So current stats. At the bottom, we have addiction, whatever your hobby might be. Let me make that with red because it sits at the bottom of everything you do, right? Your hobby sits at the bottom of everything you do. And all your life energy is being poured into that, just so you can understand what happens, really. So once in a while, you wake up to the fact that you have some goals and you want to achieve them. Sadly, all your life energy is poured into your current stats, or in your current reality, or in your current routine, and in your current everyday life. This is your habits, this is your current reality bubble, okay? So what you need to do if you want to change how you live your life, if you want to live your life with intention, then watch my video on planning and journaling. I'll link it here somewhere. To achieve your goals, what you have to do is not to stop these, right? These can actually continue as they are. But what you have to do instead, shrink down the amount of time and life energy you put into any of these and give it to your goals. It's going to be an intense process because if you're not accustomed to learning or your teachability index is low, you're going to have a lot of resistance and obstacles before you build some momentum to achieve those goals, right? And to actually live from intention. And when you get closer to your goals, you're gonna see something amazing happens. You're gonna be pulled towards the goals, right? The goals are gonna call you, right? When you go to the gym and you have the body already looking nice, and that's gonna ask you to eat healthier food to maintain that self-image, right? Where people are looking up to you, asking you for advice, what you did and so on. Same with business, same with relationships, same with anything where you can lead by example. So we have this amazing current reality you now live, right? You have everything, you're trapped. And you can only, by the way, you can only see this when you become an observer of your own behavior. And here, once in a while, as I said, you think about your goals, right? Not all the time, which is a big mistake, by the way, but from time to time. And what we need to do is to gamify the life, bro. This is what you have to do, gamify life, right? The way you gamify life is to take control of your mind. In the linked video, you will see how clearly. But the way you gamify life to create with intention towards your goals is to take a step back from everything you now do and to, first of all, accept, right? Accept. This is your bubble of energy or your reality, okay? You must not live in an illusion. For this, to accept the bubble and stop living in an illusion, you will have to take a closer stock of what you now do. Like Jordan Peterson said, look at yourself as a cold-blooded snake, as a stranger would. And as soon as you see everything you do wrong, and you know you shouldn't be doing, but you're still doing it, because this is your addiction, is actually your identity, right? The ego has this bubble created around this fake persona to have and maintain the sense of identity. Let me straighten this up. What the ego does is to create something. It creates a mask sculpted from survival, and it creates this bubble where you become the result of the unconscious behavior the conditioning has put in there, that you've accepted because it was the only way for you to survive in your current reality. And you've accepted it, and now you became the sum of it. But in order to project out of this bubble with intention to our goals, We need to accept the bubble and never live in an illusion. What it requires is for you to accept again, but this acceptance is not superficially done, right? As some people might do. Like if you smoke and you know you're not supposed to smoke because it's not good for you and you should start going to the gym, then you will have to do that. You lie to nobody, but only to yourself. If you say, I'll go to the gym and smoke in the same time. No, there is two different identities, two different paradigms, right? My question for you is, why do you smoke? It's because you saw it socially acceptable, and that's why you smoke. If you were not aware of the fact that there is smoking in this world, you wouldn't have smoked in the first place. Let's start from there, right? So everything you have in here, in your bubble, in your reality, has been conditioned into you, has been programmed into you by the society and everything you saw. Right? So you need to accept this illusion you've created around yourself, right? It's been, again, sculpted by survival, and they need to be accepted in the tribe like our ancestors did millions of years ago. But this is your current stats, and if you have nothing else to deal with, then you will have to accept that you waste time on your Netflix, on your social, you have an addiction, and also a hobby where all this life energy goes. There is something inside your life that you do for a pleasure. There is a reward coming from there, right? Don't get me started on reward. Watch my video on reward and how the brain works for that. But there is something you put all your life energy into it, and that's your hobby, right? It takes 80% of the life energy when you have no obligations or moral duties that you pour your life into there. And this creates your reality mostly, right? You have something you are grounded towards, you're grounded into. Each and every one of us has a hobby in their life, and you will need to accept that hobby, right? Intention, right? So this is the first thing. You need to accept the bubble. The second thing is you need to direct the energy you put into your hobby into something else to do, into something else you want, right? The second thing you need to do is to direct your life energy from your hobby, your addiction, your socials, and so on, the hierarchy, basically, where it starts with your hobby, because this is the biggest fish in the pond that eats away at your life energy, takes away most of it. So you will have to direct the energy you put into your hobby into something more productive that is not serving just the self. So asking yourself different questions, by the way, watch the video as well, on how can you improve yourself and improve others at the same time. Because here, when you transcend to the identity where it takes on different responsibility, where you serve others rather than yourself, then that changes how you behave fundamentally. So your hobby has to take on less time, unless it's something, of course, unless it's something that also helps other people, right? The hobby, fundamentally, to change themselves or to improve their lives to a greater extent. Change, right? So this is what number 2 implies. You direct the energy towards your goals 100%. So you take away your time from your current reality and then you direct it with intention towards your goals. Again, this is going to be difficult to do, but you will have to do it. You will need to direct the energy consciously towards your goal. This is how you gamify your life. This is the process of switching from the current mode of reality to actually being a creator in your own reality. You transform it from conditioning to intention on purpose, because you want. Even if you don't know how to achieve your goal, the how is of a lesser importance if the way is clear as of why you want it in the first place. You can change if you have a stronger why at the base, right? So ask yourself, why do you want to change? Answer yourself the question. How much enough is enough for you? What does enough means for you? Start asking yourself there and see what kind of man or woman you will need to become in order for you to change, right? Because your reality is not going to change unless you change what you now do unconsciously. And this is how you transcend. Again, this is how you jump. This is how you become a new person. You lead by example. You do the hard thing that other people are doing it. You see it's good for them. And then you can say, I can also do it. And then you become a different person by actually doing the work, right? There is nothing wrong with you wasting time on the good things, even when results don't show. Because this is better than wasting times on your video games, your Netflix, socials, addictions, and in your hobby. And the hobby hasn't got any return on your investments, right? You will have to understand that your life energy will always be inside of you. It's always with you. It's innate. Right? Inborn. So this is your current stats. We know is the mask that the ego created from the need of acceptance and survival. But now we're gonna take away all of that. We take the time, right? Life energy can be translated as time, as cognitive function, focus, physical energy, and emotional states. And you take it and you put it into your goals. Living by intention. If you don't know how, you will find out how. Because you're gonna be a different persona. And the reason why you will succeed is because, as Carl Jung said, inside of you, there is multiple personalities. So if Carl Jung said that inside of you, there are multiple personalities playing everything, right? Here you have a role. Watching Netflix, you seek something in there. Spending time on your socials is like seeking validation. Complaining as well when you have your friends circle. Socials can be complaining or gossiping when you talk to your friends or something. Point number 3 here is understand and satisfy the personas. We're going to talk about them in a second. All right, let's talk about the understanding and satisfy the characters. What does it mean? Carl Jung said that the psyche has multiple sub-personalities that eat away at our psyche using life energy. So these characters seek to satisfy themselves when you play video games, when you watch Netflix, when you stay on your socials, and when you also addicted to something you like to do, and also when you do your hobby. So if all the characters seek to take away your time and your energy when you're living unintentionally, that is, you will need to understand how to take away the energy from here and actually with intention and put it towards your goals, right? So for example, here we have validation. If you want to post on your social media a picture of your new car or something to brag about, to show that you have status and all that, so people can consider you powerful and important, then that's a side of you that seeks validation. Validation on one side is good, but on the other side is it reflects weakness, right? Because as long as you're dependent on taking validation from other people, you can't give yourself that validation. So you will have to take it from outside. So this automatically implies that you will need to give yourself the self-validation you seek outside. This is hard because you need acceptance, but you will have to live without outward acceptance and rely on the inner acceptance. That's of a higher degree of life. Even I have troubles with that, but it's something I'm working on, and so many people do. It's not an overnight thing, right? So you'll need to find the character that seeks validation. Here we have instant gratification, right? Playing video games, you're seeking for instant gratification. Instead of working for your goal, you will seek to work for something that requires easy inputs, and it will give you faster reward in exchange, an easier reward if you understand, right? So that's why you're playing video games. Remember, as men, we're constantly having life energy and we're seeking an aim all the time. Again, let's say you watch Netflix. We have here a need for adventure or something else. It can be something else for you. It can be whatever you watch Netflix for. That's the reason you watch. Alright, so all your life energy gets put into this character, that the need for adventure. Right, let me draw here a character with a nice shield. Okay, need for adventure. Instant gratification here we have. Okay, just so you understand, that's money right there. Here we have validation. You take this validation from likes. And just like that, your life energy is poured into the wrong things. At the end, so instead of taking love from real life, instead of making money in real life, instead of seeking adventure in real life, you waste your life energy on an illusion. And you will have to accept that illusion. You will have to accept it. So you have the money, spirit, love, and here, addiction. As a hobby, you have your purpose. Let's do a recap. So you have your money, your instant gratification, you take it from video game. You have your spirit, your need for adventure, you take that from your Netflix. You have your love, validation, you take that from your socials. Even if it's surface level, you don't have any partners, any intimate partners that is, and you're still taking it from your social circle or your social media. So, because this is the unconscious character you've built, and it works by thinking, it thinks that it will actually get love and it will satisfy that side just by posting online. But the moment you suppress all these sides and then start living with intention towards your goals, then that's a different paradigm. We're talking about a different persona that's going to take place and is going to make use of the life energy and actually get the money, the spirit, the love, and have a purpose or a mission on this planet. And then finally, we have your addiction and your hobby that serves as a main purpose. Unconsciously, your ego, again, has carved into your life, into your character, into the mask you've built, a purpose and a mission that is only satisfying it by having a hobby. Any of these can be your hobby. Any of the traps above can be your hobby, right? I want you to look at yourself very closely for where do you get all of these? How do you satisfy these? Through artificial means. We're going to talk in a minute about how to gamify your life and get these actually from real life. Instant gratification, need for adventure, and actually your love, right? How to find your purpose, your mission, by replacing your addiction and your hobby with intention and living through your goals. But first of all, I want you to look at yourself, have a closer look at yourself and see where do you get your money from? As in, how do you satisfy that in real life versus the artificial means? Next, we have your spirit. How do you get the adventure? How do you feel like you're living? How do you feel like you're exploring? Do you know the whole city you live in? I don't want you to know all the small streets, but the whole city, or at least the surrounding area. But I want you to look at the how do you satisfy the need for adventure, the need to know? Or it can be replaced by any other side of your character. You need to understand and satisfy the character. You might not watch Netflix, you might not need adventure. You might be a different man, different person. But again, you will have to see for yourself where you put your attention, and from there, where am I actually looking, by asking why, okay? And then ask yourself, why do I want this when I'm doing this, right? Because you can look at what you want in real life. You can look at what you do in your illusion bubble, right? Habit. In your reality, in your ecosystem, the one you've created around everything you do artificially to get it like, and still feel a sense of purpose or a mission, or feeling a sense of I'm living life and I feel good, while in fact you live in an illusion. So again, do a life audit, see where you're stuck, because you can have money in real life, but you lack spirit, love, and you don't have a mission or a purpose, right? So you'll have to balance those out, but you'll need to obviously accept the bubble and also direct the energy and understand and satisfy the characters after you've done the everything, right? Forgive me for, I think I should have reversed the number 2 and 3, but that's fine. That's normal for me to get lost into flow, but never losing the bigger picture. I hope you understand. So yeah, take stock of yourself and see where you have to work on, right? Because we will have to take the life energy and put it actually into money, spirit, love, and purpose and your mission on this planet. We're gonna quit the illusion the society, the matrix has created around ourselves, so we can take everything that people back in the day used to take through intelligence, sheer willpower, imagination, and a lot of hard work, right? But these are all taken now artificially, and they have no intrinsic value, no moral value at all. Where is the integrity? If you play a video game just so you can get money, I used to play a lot of video games with trainers, just pressing F1, press a button, and then have $1 million in the account. But what good was that to me when I woke up out of that game? It's a different story. Same, need for adventure. Look at yourself. Where do I get the sense for knowledge? The sense for knowing. How do I know things? How do I satisfy the curiosity, right? I would rather reframe this as curiosity or novelty, right? You watch movies just to satisfy that spirit, when you can actually make movies. If you're not there yet at the top tier, where you can actually create cinematic movies, you can open a camera up and make a video like this, you know? You still have something inside of you. You have a spark of curiosity. If you satisfy the need for novelty, if you combine that with making money, if through that you also get love or validation, that is internal validation, where you accept yourself and you love yourself for what you do, rather than relying on outside stimuli and what people think of you. You know, you rely for your love to be fed by an algorithm. That's not how you do it, bro. And then your purpose and your mission. Look at your addiction, your hobby. Where do you put your time in all that? Because you can make out of your hobby and your addiction as a hobby, you can pour all your life energy into there by removing everything that's not good in your life and achieve something that's going to make your life like a game. And you will live with the intention and your goals, but you need to take it seriously. Right, now that we have a clear picture of understanding and satisfy the characters, and by the way, if you have questions, please leave them in the comments. Let's see how we can replace these and actually gamify the life so we can live with intention. Right, here we have business. Here we have travel. Here we have dating, socializing, self-love. Here we have service, how you serve people. And I want you to notice one very important thing here, bro. Let me stay here. So you have your money, you have your instant gratification, that comes from your business. You have your spirit, need for adventure, that comes from travel, or seeing new things, or reading new books, or reading something that's gonna actually grow you as a person and your potential. And remember, before we continue, this bubble has endless capacity for increasing. It's basically unlimited. This is how you rely on your true potential, and life becomes magic again when you're actually pouring everything into what you have to do in real life. But you do it in a spirit of power. In this video, you see how. So you know now you have infinite potential of exploring and seeing what you're actually capable of, and pushing yourself, pushing the boundaries of how you can improve your self-image, and more than that. This is not just about you now, it's about other people and serving the humanity, bro. And then you have your love. Validation that comes from dating. You either find somebody or you love yourself, depending on which side you are. What's your stage of development, right? And then you have your purpose and your mission. This is your service. Now, Business can be the service, can be that service. I want you to understand that business can be that service. And when you combine the two, when you make money with your mission, and that's when you become a market. Alright? I want you to think about this, right? How can you make money with purpose and your mission? Think about that. It's easier than ever these days to make this, right? But you might not necessarily make money through your mission or your purpose just yet, or at all. But you can surely make it, because today it's easier. Distribution is basically unlimited. You can reach 1 million people easily today than 100 years ago. And the way you gamify your life is you take this character that used to make money in video games, that was looking for instant gratification, and you make it work for the business instead of in a video game. It's easier because when you suppress, right, when you accept the bubble, the previous one, when you see yourself, you lived in an illusion, and then you look at other people, you compare, right? You compare what's possible. If that guy makes money like that, and I can make as well. And I can make 2-fold, 3-fold, and 100-fold. Then you can start to see how I can make money in real life, right? Instead of putting the life energy into video games, you now put it into your business. It might take you time, as I said. Remember, intention, goals, waking up, and then switching directions, switching the course of your life energy flow. It will require a lot of work because you have a lot of resistance because of your psychological inertia and the mask you've built around the bubble of illusion you've been living in. So your business, you find any business, something you like or something that works, right? Remember, copies. Find already something that works and you'll be able to make money. But you'll need to accept first, you direct that energy, and then you understand and satisfy the characters, right? So first of all, you remember you have inside of you a character that's looking for instant gratification when it comes about money, when it comes about success and happiness and wealth creation. So you can start making a business. It will be small at first, but the more you work, the more that business is gonna pull you towards it. In a positive way, not negative way, remember. But it will require a lot of mental switching and shifting inside of you until you become that person. But if you start doing it, that is, if you stop the instant gratification and you take the long gratification as your business success, your money will show up in your pocket because you're doing it with the right attitude. You've woken up now. You're a different person, and it will work. It has always did, because inside of you have the life energy, and today you can learn anything. You just need to want it. Next, we have the spirit, right? You have the need for adventure that comes from traveling and knowing and novelty and actually hands-on experience, right? Like going into Egypt and touching the rocks and touching the stones and everything. You can only have a hands-on experience when you want adventure. But the adventure's not gonna start unless you accept that you've been living in a bubble and start traveling around your city first, right? You need to grow this bubble, right? You need to satisfy the need for adventure, not from a video game, but from the actual real life. You need to start traveling and actually open books and read, not really Netflix and movies. Of course you can, but you need to dial down on those. That is, you need to watch the highest rated movies, and your spirit and your energy will increase once with it. And it will be like a loop. Your life energy will feed your spirit, and your spirit will direct your life energy into itself. It's as simple as that, and it works. Next, you need to satisfy the need for validation. You will need to accept yourself, right? You need to give yourself self and employ a conscious willpower to withhold from posting on your social media the results you've been working for so long. There is no other self-reward than to love yourself by not showing anyone what you've been doing behind closed doors. But that's a tough and tricky thing to do, right? You can flex here and there, but don't do it too broadly, too openly, too publicly. Try to be more coveted with your success. It's better. It has always been like that. The money and the real power in this world, you don't even know their name, bro. They don't show up in newspapers, in Instagram posts or anywhere. No. So keep it to yourself. It's the best thing. Work coveted. Work behind closed doors and don't show too much. Behave normally. Don't show anything. So to satisfy the love, you need to become the person who can actually date. You want to date on a higher scale with higher people of a higher level. But before you reach that level, you will need to become that person. It's easier than ever to do it. You have the gym. You will have to groom yourself. You will need to work your character by traveling. You need to start your business, start working on yourself. Try to read people, see their character, see their intentions. Judge their character by their intentions, by the way, as Jim Rohn said it. And you will attract slowly quality love. It will always work like that, right? First of all, become, and then attract quality. Right, I want to touch on the purpose and your mission, your service. You suppress your hobby, or you turn that into your purpose, by the way, and you will need to do something that's going to benefit other people. So your purpose will be your mission, and your mission will be your purpose. I should have said that earlier. Now, intention is to direct all your life energy into your purpose, into your love, into your spirit and your money, into all these characters that are seeking something, but you will take it in a natural way, in the way that was meant for you. Remember, the system, the one we've talked about in the first part of this video, was created to satisfy this instant gratification, and the need for adventure, love and purpose and mission was created on purpose. You'll need to break away from that. First, accept it. Don't live in an illusion. And first of all, you don't need to care anymore. You are not that person anymore. You are a different individual now. You begin to rely more on yourself, more on your own powers, and don't flex with other people's money or adventure or love or purpose or mission. No, become that person. Do it in your own way. It's gonna take you 10 years, 20 years to become. But if you start now, if you start today, you will become that somebody that will have so much life energy into everything that matters for themselves. Then you will lead by example. Only then, you can see yourself for who you really are. If you have any questions or observations, please leave them in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. Thank you for watching, and I hope it helps.